Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely pumped for this one because we're diving into what I honestly consider the ultimate human gift: how to become a fully functioning, self-determining person. Whether we're talking about guiding our kids, navigating those tricky teenage years, or just thriving as adults, mastering self-determination is literally the key to creating a wonderful life. We're going to break down exactly what that means, how the words we use actually limit or expand our freedom, and how you can take total control of your life path starting today. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's look at our agenda for today. We'll be covering 1. The self-determining life. 2. What hooks you is you. 3. Vocabulary creates your choices. 4. Guiding children through choices. And finally, 5. The power to reach use.
All right, Section 1, the self-determining life.
So, are you truly self-determining? Now, to answer that, we really have to look at how fully functioning you are. Look, nobody is perfect, right? You might be amazing with money, but completely struggle with your health, or vice versa. But here's the thing. The degree to which you are functioning is the exact degree to which you can be self-determining. Are you actively shaping your reality, or are you just kind of letting life happen to you? It's the fundamental difference between living a vibrant, empowered existence and just living a disempowered life.
So, let's define it. A self-determining person is an individual who makes powerful, considerate choices and uses functional conversations, rather than just being at the effect of their circumstances. And honestly, with the sheer amount of education, coaching, and information we all have access to today, there's absolutely no reason to live a disempowered life. Well, unless you simply refuse to be trainable. It's really all about consciously choosing your responses rather than just blindly reacting.
Moving on to Section 2, what hooks you is you.
We have all been there. You know those moments where someone says something and suddenly you are throwing your own adult version of a tantrum? But what is actually happening there? Here's the secret. Whatever hooks you is you. I want you to really let that sink in for a second. When another person's actions upset you, they're just doing what they're doing. It's your negative reactions that actually reveal your own hidden beliefs. Identifying these emotional triggers is absolutely crucial because those personal upsets, they indicate areas for your own personal growth. If it hooks you, it is you. Recognizing this is hands down the fastest way to take your power back.
So how do we actually stop reacting? Well, first you have to master distinguishing distinctions to improve your daily decision-making. Just catching yourself and saying, whoa, okay, I'm hooked right now. That is a massive leap in emotional intelligence. Next, we need to practice listening strictly through our 5 senses, rather than just defaulting to our usual, well, this is how I feel narrative. When you combine this literal sensory observation with learning new jargon and vocabulary, you develop a much wider emotional range, and that helps you better understand yourself and basically build a fortress of self-determination.
All right, Section 3, vocabulary creates your choices. Now, what's really interesting about this is we often assume our choices are limited by our physical environment, but actually it's our cognitive tools that dictate our options. Let's debunk a very old myth right now. A picture tells 1,000 words. The reality? It really doesn't. A picture does not inherently hold meaning. It's your vocabulary that determines how many words you can use to describe what you're seeing. Language is the ultimate tool here. It allows you to extract distinctions, nuances, and ultimately life choices out of any given situation. To put that into perspective, let's think about scale for a second. If a person only has a vocabulary of, say, 10 words, they can only pull 10 words worth of meaning from a picture. But a person with a vocabulary of 1,000,000 words, wow, they can come up with a whole universe of possibilities. Your options in life multiply exponentially because expanding your vocabulary literally creates more life path options. This wider vocabulary is exactly what enables you to evaluate and change bad choices. Because simply put, the more words you know, the more paths you can see. Which brings us to Section 4, guiding children through choices. Look, as a parent or guide, you aren't always going to be there when a child faces a critical decision. But if you teach them the vocabulary early on, you can completely change their trajectory. Think about it. If a child doesn't know what the words peer pressure mean, they're way more likely to succumb to it. But if you use simple, functional conversations to help them navigate difficult peer pressure situations when they're preteens, everything changes. By the time they hit those teen years and encounter real-world drug offers, they already have the linguistic tools to recognize exactly what's happening, allowing them to make powerful, self-determining choices straight into adulthood. But hey, this requires us as the adults in the room to manage our own emotional triggers first.
When a child pushes back or throws a tantrum, keep it simple. Step 1, acknowledge it is just a conversation. Step 2, if a topic hooks you, examine why it impacts you so deeply. Remember what we said earlier? You have to go first. And step 3, listen to them. Kids talk back when they don't feel heard, so listen to them fully through your 5 senses so they don't feel the need to talk back in the first place.
And finally, Section 5, the power to re-choose. Because you are doing the work, expanding your vocabulary, and mastering those emotional triggers, you unlock absolute freedom. You realize a fundamental truth. You are never stuck with past choices. And man, is that liberating or what? Just because you made a horrible choice yesterday does not mean you have to stay stuck with it today. Your vocabulary and those distinctions we talked about directly enable you to evaluate that path and re-choose.
So, the crucial point here is that self-determination isn't a one-and-done deal. It's a daily active practice. With your expanded vocabulary and self-awareness, you can constantly reevaluate your path. You can re-choose your habits when they no longer serve you. You can re-choose your entire career. You can re-choose how you show up in your relationships. Literally, no one is permanently stuck with anything, anywhere, anyhow. You have the absolute power to reuse and remake your life every single day.
Which leaves us with one final, very important question to think about. What choice are you going to remake today? I really challenge you to take these tools, your new awareness of your hooks, your expanding vocabulary, and apply them right now. Find just one area where you've been living at the effect of your circumstances and make a new, self-determining choice. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. Keep learning, keep expanding those distinctions, and I'll see you next time.